Once you grasp this truth that I'm about to tell you, it'll set you free from religion. It'll set you free from parents and moms and family and governments and police, everybody. It'll set you free. And it's simply this. You are divine. God has exploded in a crab nebulae explosion, and he has come and manifested himself as billions of people. And you're one of you, and so am I. When I look at you, I see God. When you look at me, you see God. That's why God's name is I am. I am God. It doesn't mean that me, God. It means I am. When you say I am God, you have to say, what is God's name? I am. What? I am God. Oh my God, then all people, Christians run around, oh, I told you they think they're God. I don't think anything on the side. No, Jesus Christ said, the scripture says you are God, and the scripture cannot be broken. So he said it.
Yeah, like I'm not third album.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be discussing the Aries full moon. Just before I dive into that, I had a guy working on to help get more like views and stuff like that on my YouTube with the CSO and all that. I don't really understand it with the algorithm and all that BS, but they got like this program that you can set up that allows you to see and track better, like who's watching, who's not watching, who's liking, how far along they watch. It's very, very interesting. And he was just explaining how it works or whatever, and what's the importance of tracking it and all that other stuff. And family, I'm really not caught up in this whole um competition wars, these I can't show you I like you wars, and the trauma that comes with that. And I'm just like, honestly, I could care less. Um, but it was very interesting to see how many people watch the same video one time. And it just kind of shows you like how your videos get the number of views. Like it puts clarity to the viewing, right? And so it's good to know. Like I really appreciated the knowledge and information, but what it really made me think about is Libra season is going to be the season of justice, serving justice, and people who are, you know, getting karma for things that they're doing, have done for reasons that are not healthy, not honest. You have to pay for those things, period. Period, point blank. Nobody knows better than me. I know y'all be tired of me talking about my prison story, but I'm gonna tell you something. When Libras get justice and they get karma against them for doing something, they get it like that. It's almost like instant. So our lessons are almost harder and more direct and in your face. So when I say this, I promise you I'm speaking from a very humble place, that I don't play those games no more. I've seen the error in my ways. Okay. I had to look at some not so pretty things about myself in the mirror and be honest about some things that's not easy to be honest about, and address them and really learn too, not just address them for the sake of like being honest and knowing, but understanding like why people do the things that they do. It really comes from trauma and how you're raised in your household. You'd be surprised, as much as you try to like move away and be like, I'm not affiliated with them as a family member, I don't know them. That's not my peoples. Or you may feel like you don't fit in, or you're the black sheep of the family, or you're the generational curse breaker in the family. Um, Even in that, you see how much of your family you carry with you that is fucking bonkers, right? And a lot of the psychology around that. And it's very interesting how our culture is, and it's really sad actually that we can't like one another. We can't show that we like one another. We're only like one thing, but not everything. Like support is so on the low of the totem pole. And I don't care. Like this thing that I bought here for this young lady, I support her. You guys know that. I come on here and I talk about people that I support. I also got this ring from her, and this thing, and this right here. And if I like somebody, I like them. I'm not sitting up there worrying about how much love or support you're going to give back to me. I'm wearing this because I like it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to continue to support in any way that I can, right? So I really could care less about all that stuff. And, it is what it is, right? You have to accept who you are and, where you're at. I'm not saying this to change anybody's mind or anything. It just really had me reflecting that whole process of learning how the YouTube algorithm works and all that, and how the video viewing works. And I thought it was just such an interesting time for it to be happening in Libra season. I'm a Libra rising. I'm not surprised. You know, um, and that whole copycat shit and worrying about whether somebody's copying your work, or trying to be like you, or none of that stuff is real to me. And I hope that me sharing this story for the 800th time, because I've said this quite a few times, that people really get it. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, we are unique and creative, but your ideas are in the ethers. If you're woke and you're connected to that ether, that energy, that silent message that's trying to reach to you, to a human, so that it can get out into the world, like we all have access to that. The more you wake up, the more you become conscious, the more you tap into who you are, and what it is that makes you happy, your creativity is going to be yours. Nobody can take that from you. There's no such thing as copying. I'm sorry. Even if you do, take my work. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that to be like cocky or conceited. It is a fact. You can look at your astrology chart and see there's nothing in your chart that looks like mine. No one person has the same astrology chart, you know? And so it's like, take the work. You can give me credit. That would be nice. Help a bitch out. But even that, honestly, I really could care less, because nobody can do what I do the way that I do, but not like, again, on this cocky or I'm better than anybody. Like, genuinely, I can't take something from somebody else and come on here and do it and sound like, even if I took that work, I'm still going to say it in my own way, my own tone, my own style. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't see anything wrong with that. A lot of people do it. And I think it's a stupid, dumb culture that we have, where that particular thing is an issue. So I really appreciate y'all allowing me to rant. Okay, because that was on my soul heavy, and I needed to get the fucking shit off my chest. Okay, so thank you. I really hope you get something from it though. Like, that's why we can't come together, and we're failing miserably because we're too worried about this low ass vibrational thing. Like, people, change the way you think about things, um so that you can help somebody else do well, and in turn they should be doing the same thing for you. Like, it's really just that fucking simple. Like, grow the fuck up. It's dumb, but you know, I don't really care. I'm gonna do it anyways. That's just me. But I think this is a perfect topic coming into this Aries full moon, because this is going to be about if you guys think back 6 months ago, um we had the Aries eclipse, the first Aries eclipse this year, April 19th. But that month, I believe it was a black moon Aries eclipse, meaning that that was the second Aries new moon we had in 1 month, right? And it was like a pretty big deal. And so I would definitely go back and watch both of those videos, or just remember what was going on for you. It's good to do a recap to see what's coming full circle. That's what full moons do. They illuminate things that maybe you didn't see, that you were trying to do before, or they bring light to things in a different way, or they close or complete a cycle of something that you have been going through from maybe another 6 months with these Aries energies, right? So what are you learning about yourself that you are trying to change, master, build confidence in, get courage in, to stand in your own unique power unapologetically, right? And that's going to get real strong next year when we have the Jupiter moving into air, Gemini, and then Pluto will be in Aquarius. Those air signs, get real jiggy with it. All right. Be who you are unapologetically is going to be a really strong theme next year. Um, and having the courage to do so without worrying about, you know, what the world has to say, what society has to say, what your parents has to say, what your, you know, whatever generational curses you might be breaking free from. Like, forget all of those things. Do what makes you happy, and start to build and make new generational healthy curses, healthy karma, you know. um so, um, yeah, that's the North Node, and that North Node we'll be working on for the next 18 months. Um, and we'll have the first Libra eclipse in October. And that's other. So whenever you have Aries and Libra energy, it's Aries is you, it's me, it's I, the self, and Libra is others. And so how do you fit in with others? How are you connecting with others? Those themes are going to be really big. Um, so yeah, you should definitely see some completions to whatever self work you've been doing. Also at that time, it was a culmination of a lot of new planets moving it into different signs for the first time in a really long time. Like Saturn moved into Pisces, I think it was in March. And then Gemini came out of Mars, its 6 month transit, and Pluto went into Aquarius. And so, again, a lot of those themes are going to be coming back up. So I would really take hold or take heed as to whatever was coming up for you around that time heavily, and checking in to see, um, you know, how you're doing on this pattern, on this journey of challenging yourself to change in whatever way it's you see fit. Also, because we've had all these retrogrades, I think even we still have them, but the personal planets are now direct. It's just the outer planets now that are retrograde. And so another way I see this coming up is a culmination of energies from all those planets on a world view, like Diddy coming out talking about how he gave all his publishing back to all his artists. And now I don't know about any of you guys, but this is the first time I've ever heard of that. And he did that 2 years ago. And so you got to really think about this. I mean, according to Google, let's assume Google is correct, right? Diddy is a Scorpio, and we just came out of the Scorpio um Taurus eclipse season. And so think about what he was going through, what made him do that. And all the things that we see in Hollywood with Saturn now and Pluto bringing all these things to light. If you remember, I did my Saturn and Pisces video, and I said a lot of people who are in power in the spiritual community, especially, but just in general, even with Pluto wrapping up its last Pluto and Capricorn wrapping up its last in that 29th degree, that critical degree, is going to be really powerful with secrets coming out about things that, you know, I think we've only gotten the tip of the iceberg about what has already come out. But with Brother Polite, I don't know if you guys are aware of him in the spiritual community. He got 7 years in prison for rape, and you could see all the headlines of everything about, demonizing him. And I know a lot of people are probably going to have something to say about this too. And being mindful that you're just a vessel, right? And if you take on these roles, that does not mean that you're perfect. And it's about the information. And that's my biggest fear about this transit, that I hope we don't get misconstrued to the point where, okay, fine, if you want to disown that person now because of, whatever news or insights going to come out about them, fine, fine, good for you. But not the knowledge, right? Spirit used him as a vessel. He gave out like that. Brother Polite was one of the first people to talk about um the idea of being in how do you call it, a marriage with more than one woman. I don't know why I can't think of the name right now. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. That made fucking sense, right? And I really appreciated his viewpoint and the knowledge that he brought to the community. And I'm hoping that the things that are going to start coming out even more, I think that we don't forget the knowledge, right? That we don't hold on to how much we dislike somebody because um, you know, because of who they are as a person. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And then all the breakups. I think I did talk about this for the Venus and Leo, the Venus star point, and Venus and Lilith, with all the like shocking, freaking, even Venus and Uranus, Venus square Uranus, the shocking, surprising people who were going to break up or who were even having couple issues in the first place. I was like, oh, I did not see that coming. Um, like I thought there was a couple. There was quite a few of them that were like that too. And I think that's going to continue to keep unraveling and unfolding because we still have another Venus Uranus square, and I'll talk about that when I do the Libra eclipse video. But yeah, this video is already going to be a really long time. Family, please like, share, and subscribe if what I'm saying resonates with you, if you agree to it and find it helpful. Share, 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 like. Um, yeah, because we still have Venus square Uranus, which has brought shakeups, breakups, and makeups in love, unexpected financial twists and turns. I can only imagine that there'll be more news, which, by the way, they've been giving out more money again. Not like how they did in 2020, but they're giving out more money again. I don't find it a surprise at all that it's right around the same time that they're not talking about it. Um, I'm even beginning to think that it has absolutely nothing to do with COVID. COVID was just a unique situation, but I feel like now that I'm looking at it, they've been doing it. and it's got something to do with their fiscal year. And like, if you know anything about business, at the end of the year, you have to tally up your money and expenses and whatever, and then you have a chunk. If you have a chunk left, you are supposed to disperse that and put it somewhere else or give it away or whatever. I don't know the proper term for it, but it's a thing. It happens. And I feel like the government has been doing that, and that's something else that's happening that I don't think people are talking about in quite that way. Mostly because nobody really knows about it, but also because I don't care what anybody says, it's distracting us from what they're doing, like, so say it's it's the end of their fiscal year. They're supposed to meet and talk about how they're going to make and do and work with the money that is coming in for the new fiscal year. Well, they don't want us a part of that conversation, right? I do think that some more stuff about reparations is going to come up. I thought about doing another Pluto return video because that's kind of what this is, but I don't know if it's really worth it. But I'm starting to see patterns in a different way. And so that's been very interesting. I think there's going to be more unraveling of financial twists and turns, but this ultimately is trying to force us to be more mature when it comes to our finances. That's the retrograde lessons. What are the lessons that you're learning? And we're getting clear on history with Pluto and Capricorn. Capricorn rules history. And is history repeating itself? It absolutely is. Sorry to tell you. And not only is history repeating itself, and I talked about this too, is that there is an illusion of what is being dispersed as opposed to what they're planning and what they're doing. Like, for example, I was watching iRobot for like the 800th time. Don't judge me, you guys. I don't even know why I was watching. Oh, I know why, because I was doing a reading for a client, and I kept saying to her in her reading, it reminded me of when in the iRobot movie when she says my logic is undeniable. And I couldn't remember what it was exactly, and I couldn't ignore it. My brain was like, just watch the movie so you could see what the hell it was she was saying. But I was using that as an example in one of my clients' videos. And I got a different perspective on iRobot and the changes that are coming than I've had in previous years of watching that now with everything going on, like some real clarity from these retrogrades and just a culmination of things coming together is like, yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the robots necessarily, or even getting robots making people lose their jobs or anything like that. Really just another distraction so that these people can stay in power. Like, that's the simplistic answer, but another day, another time for that. But we're assessing how have things gone in the past, and can we fix it on a personal level? And so with Mercury out of retrograde, I think our Aries area of life is going to be where we're going to look to see what is completing and where we're taking action to move forward in something. And our Libra area of life is the issue, where we'll need to do work because it's in the South Node, and South Node typically is about, kind of the negative side of karma or just dealing with the past and general patterns when it comes to Libra themes, right? Not to say that Libra is bad in any kind of way, but in the South Node, it's something that needs to be fixed, addressed, changed, transformed, right? And I even think we might lose a little bit of our boundaries with Libra being in the South Node around Libra themes. And again, I'll talk more about that as we go along, but Aries is going to feel this the most. as well as all the cardinal signs. So that's Cancer. I think Cancer is going to get it pretty bad, and Capricorn might get it pretty bad. Um, and Libra. So Cancer, Aries, Libra, and Capricorn. But I think Cancer is going to get hit the most because it's going to be at the bottom of that grand fixed cross, or I think it's a T square too. But I'll talk more about the aspects of it when I do my post on IG. So again, family, if you're not following me on IG, feel free to do so. All my information is in the link in the description box below. Or up here, the links up here or over here. And fire signs, this is going to be trining your fire sign houses. So that's actually really good. It'll give you a bit of a break because I think fire signs have really been going through it. And so this should be good for you over the next 18 years, really, in general. Anytime I talk about moon in Aries or any kind of aspects, that's why it's good to get a weekly astrology reading, because these bigger energies, these more broader discussions, you can start to narrow in how they really play out in your life on a day-to-day basis. And so if you're interested in getting your weekly, you can become a Patreon member, which is also up here in the description box. It's $20 a month. And I send out your weekly readings a week in advance every week. And I think it's helpful that way to have it broken down on a personal level. And it's specific to you and your birth chart. So you can start to see how these broad dynamics grow from something small to bigger and change and evolve over time too. And so this Aries full moon is going to be at 6 degrees, and that's a Virgo degree. And so we are coming out of Virgo season, so that's going to carry that same Virgo energy. But we can hear more about work schedule, workplace, workspace, work conditions, your employees, even a boss with the Aries energy or a leader. Definitely on the world stage, if not in your work area of life. Maybe you are becoming a boss or a leader in some way when it comes to your work area of life. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but it could be. And where we work. We can also hear about health, illness, health centers, practitioners, cures, prescriptions, healthy living, the service industry, clients and customers. It's also rent, animals, pets, your stepfather, adoptive parents, stomach, tea, and honey. That's what the six degrees rules. And so you can definitely see more of the new moon energy and Virgo having an opportunity to play out here. What I thought was very interesting about this dynamic is that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, right? And so Aries is about newness because it's first, it's new, but it's in a full moon. But bringing in that Virgo energy with the 6 degrees and just haven't had a Virgo new moon, I really think this is giving us more opportunities to gain courage to bring in this new um whatever plants you're whatever seeds you're planting for this time that can really grow. And I like Virgo energy when we're talking about growing something, because it's an earth sign, and earth signs, when you grow in earth signs or you have any new energy in earth signs, it brings it into the 3D realm. So it's tangible, something you can feel, see, touch, whatever it is. So this could be like more money, a raise, starting your own business, or really, really, really narrowing in whatever creative talents you have to start your own business, which I think is really dope. Um, so Aries is ruled by Mars. It goes after what it wants. It rules war, passion, desire, and it wants action. It wants movement. And because Mars is in Libra, it's going to have a hard time expressing Aries themes because it's in detriment. And it might be a little frustrated. We might get a little frustrated. So be easy with yourself um, during this time. Don't think about moving quick. Just think about moving. When you have the chance, when you have a green light, you go. If you have a red light, chill. It's not the end of the world. Things are not going to end. It's helping us with our impulses, because Mars can be very impulsive and act before you really think something through. And so again, that Virgo energy is really, really helping us get grounded in whatever newness we're trying to bring in, that we'll see more of really throughout the entirety of this Aries energy. Even though this isn't an Aries North Node full moon, still it's connected to that North Node energy, right? And the moon will conjunct the North Node. And so there's pieces of this energy that's coming in that you're still culminating and working towards, that you'll see every, 6 months. Yeah, throughout this duration. Even if it's not an Aries full moon or new moon. Every new moon and full moon energy, we're working on the Aries North Node, if that makes sense at all. And so try not to get too upset with yourself or rush things. Really, go with the flow. Especially we're going to see frustration with relationships. Obviously, this is going to be the bigger topic. Obviously, it's romantic relationships, but remember, you're having this in a specific house. And so you could be seeing other people go through romantic relationship issues if you don't have them in the 5th, 7th, 12th, 8th. Those are the relationship houses. 12th, more so 5th, 7th, and 8th. When you're having them in those houses, this is undoubtedly going to be about relationships for you, or romantic relationships. But in any other house, it's your relationships to those things that the house rules, right? And so this could be your relationship to money. This could be your relationship to work. This could be relationship to family, staying home and not wanting to go out, or vice versa. Maybe you need to stay your ass in the house some more. Right? This could be your relationship to your spirit guides, 12th house, or your spiritual beliefs and practices, your creativity, uh, uh, your public image, 10th house, career, or your purpose, your mission in life. This could be your relationship to traveling, wanting to travel, writing, publishing something, public speaking, broadcasting, doing like a YouTube or something like that. Um, um, yeah. So those are just to give you a few. I did do horoscopes, family. So again, if you're not following me on IG, you won't see them. But I have been very, very good at holding myself accountable to doing horoscopes. So I'm proud of myself because I hate personal astrology, you guys. If I had my choice, really, I would talk about these bigger topics, like world topics, to the 10th degree. I would study that more and talk about those things more because I think those things are way more important. I think you learn more from the things that you're dealing with outside of in the world than personally, but that's only when you've mastered yourself personally too. Not to say that, I still got work to do, but I think I'm at a good place enough to talk about those world topics, but I really, really wish that I could talk about that stuff more. But not everybody really cares too much for that because a lot of people have a lot of personal things that they're working through, and that's fine. Um, this can be with clients, friends, counselors, your relationships with clients, friends, counselors, attorneys, coaches, and mentors, because those things are ruled by Libra. It could also be your connection to your beauty, public image, how you look, how you dress. Women, rules women. Um, or the women in your life. All right. So Mars will conjunct the South Node. So that's the North Node, Mars, because it's ruled by Aries. That's connecting with the South Node. So it's a little backwards, in a sense, but it's still very interesting that it's happening that way. But um, this could be about readdressing the past. There's a need to cut, purge, or burn things around history, past history or past issues and relationships or patterns. I'm not necessarily seeing this as issues in relationships because I don't give a damn who you are. You're going to have problems in relationships. You can't always be good all the time, right? That's just going to be a norm. But there are patterns that I think out of fear and trauma or lack of dealing with fear and trauma that we constantly repeat that is going to be highlight. It's going to be like fucking yellow, red, blinking lights going off like, no, bitch, you did that already. Don't do that. Stop. You cannot collect, though. You cannot collect $200. Like it's going to be really, really loud. Um, Around your social patterns, your love relationship patterns, even friendship patterns of dealing with people who are very karmic, who keep you in a loop, that don't allow you to pass go, don't allow you to collect $200, or they even might kind of be like supporting your enabling your behavior not to grow, the excuses you make up for yourself. I just had like this really in-depth conversation with my sister. If you remember, I think it was about 6 months ago. Now that I'm thinking about it, that this even happened, which is very interesting. I'll have to fact check that, you guys, but I'm almost positive it was the Gemini um and Mars transit where all the if you guys remember, I was so paranoid, like something's gonna happen. I know it. And it did. Um and I talked about it in one of those fucking videos. I don't remember which one it was, but I was going off in that video. And lo and behold, now my sister's coming back, like she's seeing things differently. She's got some clarity, or she says she was trying to give me space and give herself space to let things cool down. And now she wants to re-engage. And so I feel like there could be more stuff like that coming up where people come in to apologize, to plead their case. This is Judge Judy's court, all Libra season. This is justice season, right? And so you're going to have to pay your karmic due, whatever, and this doesn't have to be just your recent past. This could be past life, uh, past at any given point in your past cycle, because Libra's in the South Node. And so you're going to get a lot of people, places, and things coming up again for to weigh the scales, to balance, to bring balance, or cut them off. Whatever, however, balance is needed to be um, delved out is a good word. Either way, this is something that it's gonna happen now. It's definitely gonna come up stronger this season than it has any other season, because this is the first Libra eclipse season, and we have Libra in the South Node for the next 18 months. So um I think this is going to be very interesting for you. What are you doing? What people pleasing are you doing? Where are you giving too much and not expecting anything back? How are you connecting with others in your social settings? Um, are you being your authentic self? Are you kind of, making yourself look small so that you make so other people feel comfortable? These are very lower expression themes of Libra that we're going to have to learn how to address. And if you do have anger issues, or not good conflict resolution skills, um, oh, you can rest assured there can be frustration, anger, fights. There could be pettiness, passive aggressiveness, and conflicts. And so we're rebalancing ourselves. As bad as those things might seem, that's the bigger picture, is so that we can get realigned, clear some of that karma, and give you an opportunity to start over fresh. How are you going to do things differently? And so we may be more motivated to take action towards fixing these issues, so that we can move on and make room for new things to come in. And some of us have already moved on, right? And we're actually implementing change in our diet, our workout routine, our vitamin intake, our healing and work schedule, right? Um, so that we can have more time for our relationships, time for our family, time for our home or self. That's the way I'm seeing these things coming up strongly. And once you do this, what you'll begin to see, once you start working on these things, you'll start to bring in more people from our past. Again, it could be recent past life, that are reminders of the importance of working together, balance in relationships, support. Um, Other people will stand up for you. They'll want fairness and equality like you. These will be alignments, right? These will be people who you strongly align with. Um, you'll find people who want to fight for you, support you, and encourage you to be the best version of yourself, or give you like a gift. And this gift doesn't have to be like something, like a gift or something you might get from the store. It could be from the heart, a hug, a gentle touch, something loving and caring or nurturing in that way that says, you mean something to me. What you give me is, um, I'm showing gratitude. I appreciate what you give me. So here, this is for you. Um, so you could see a lot of those things coming up. Now that I'm thinking about it, one of my clients just asked me what my address was so they can send me a gift, and so I think that means I'm doing something right, right? You guys don't judge me. But that's how you can measure where you're at on this. And there's no right or wrong, but getting on the right track is the mission, right? Um, Chiron and Aries will conjunct the North Node, which is a realization that we have to heal ourselves. Nobody's coming to save us. Like, that's not going to happen. This is why history keeps repeating itself, by the way. And without getting into it too much, because I'm pretty sure I've already been on here far too long than I was supposed to be. But and that Pluto, between Pluto and Capricorn and Pluto and Aries energy, what I've been noticing is the distractions that come in, like them giving us more money around this time of the year to distract us from the new goal, and us not having a say in what those new goals are moving forward. These are things that we should be implementing in our own life, having periods of time where we sit down as a family, as a unit, or yourself, for yourself, whatever, however, and having the conversation of, okay, we got this chunk of money or time or goals or necessities or what have you, how are we going to disperse them, right? And not letting anybody get in the way of that process. It helps you stay in tune with yourself and where you're going. And having that quarterly discussion, right? Every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever's suitable, but it needs to be balanced, right? It doesn't have to be this really big or this super intense, small day-to-day tasking, but even bigger conversations about what it is that you have planned, and then break them down into smaller pieces and come back and talk about them every quarter helps, right? Thinking about how you can take the bigger idea, the bigger picture, the bigger plan, the bigger realizations, the bigger goals, and break them down into smaller, more incremental pieces. And these are more small incremental pieces of yourselves. It gives you courage. It motivates you to want to do better. And you get things, when you accomplish your goals, whatever that thing is, right? And that's the reward. And so there could be something like that going on here, or the realization of something like that that could be helpful. Um, Moon in Aries rules your intuition. Um, yeah, I think we can probably be a lot more. You know what I always think of when I think of Aries as a spiritual sign is like becoming the like Bruce Lee, somebody who does like karate, who understands how to move, going with the flow, right? How to move with the energy. Um, Again, how to have conflict resolution skills, choosing your battles wisely, what's worth really fighting for, right? A lot of that can be going on intuitively. Yeah, we gain courage, strength, confidence to pursue our goals with passion, and do it for you, not for others. This makes you more independent. It gives you self-expression, character. You find your creative flair here. Doing for yourself is authentic. This is how you become authentic. But be mindful, not to shit all over that beautiful message, but it's gonna piss people off when you start putting up boundaries and saying, no, I'm gonna take care of me and do this. I got this to do, I got this. When you start putting priorities in your life, you don't have time for the people who are not giving you that edge, or they're keeping you in the repeating history cycle. Those people, they will become very clear to you during this time, because Libra is open enemies, but Aries is also just brings out that energy as well. So having a hobby or a purpose that you're working towards will really be beneficial during this time. You'll be able to block out the haters. You become like that master guru that Bruce Lee shit, like, wah, you just cut bullshit off. But remember, karate doesn't have anything to do with fighting. Remember that, right? It's about knowing how to move with the energy. And people can be trying to hit you, but you're just gonna be like, oh my God, that was fucking funny. You just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I had a moment, y'all. But You could be feeling that or seeing things happening like that in some way, shape, or form. Um, we're learning that the lower expressions of Libra, the people pleasing, are hindering us. They're not really helping us. It's going back to that illusion of power. When you really start to think that you have the power over somebody else's life and what you do and how you act, and you think people can't see that, that's a fucking problem. You're a problem. Okay. And I think this is going to come up heavily in relationships with those karmic relationships. I started talking about this a little bit in my Libra video towards the end. I'm trying to stay out of this energy, but I mark my words, you guys. I cannot make this shit up. I'm already starting to see this happening. You are going to have people in your life who are past relationships coming back to cock block the new emperor, your aligned person, your higher vibrational person trying to come in massive fucking numbers. Apologizing, telling you all the things you've been trying to get this person to say for the longest time. And now they're finally saying it after you've gave up, you're done. You're like, no, we're breaking up this time. It's over. I'm not doing this with you. you know, and they're gonna come back saying everything you wanted them to say all those years before. Depending on who you are, maybe you didn't wait years. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't stay in relationships long enough for it to be that way. It's actually probably going to be a lot more people coming for you. But the point is, they're coming back to cock block. So this is really going to be a test to see if you really want what you've been asking for. Are you ready for that bigger, more positive relationship? Because you'll have the opportunity, but you're going to have to block out the people, places, and things that are getting ready to come in that you probably wanted so badly at one point to work out like, ooh, you thought it was it. And you had to learn in a very painful way. It wasn't it. It was just a lesson for you to upgrade, level up. This can be very draining, and we can be non-proactive due to a lot of these situations coming up. So work towards balance, more calculated steps and actions, not being impulsive. We'll begin to see that teamwork is better. It teaches us how to work with others and how to connect with others. That's the bigger goal here. You will find those people if you're doing the work. And I think after 18 months, obviously, you got time to see how this all plays out. But for the most part, that's the end goal, is for us to come together as a team, which again, I think we'll see more of next year with Jupiter moving into Gemini and Pluto being back in Aquarius. So, family, as usual, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.